little one a little bit later.
Pick up the little one later.
Yeah, I know, right? Somebody else got some shit they gotta talk about.
No, we're not talking about that. Not
I was
until
talking about, you know, the
Terrance.
guy with
We're not the man in the red hat. Yes.
the guy in the red hat. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck did you just
What?
say?
Huh?
You just wished it was a MAGA hat, Eddie. That's the only thing. You wished it. You wished it.
I mean, it looks like a MAGA hat, bro. It's a red hat. It's a MAGA hat.
I knew that lived within him this entire time.
It's a red
I was just
hat
waiting
from a
for it to
red
come out.
state. I get it.
I mean, hey, sorry, bro. Don't be mad at me. I didn't do anything. You know, I didn't decide to wear. I didn't decide to be white with a red hat.
I'm fulfilling destiny.
With it,
Destiny.
that's why I'm mad with it. With it, with it. That's why I'm mad with it. Straight out the trap with it. Whatever you want, whatever you need, it's on tab. Get it? That's why I'm mad with it. That's why I'm mad with it. That's where I'm at. Okay, you chasing clout? Oh no way, your shit turn.
Everybody, time to move that groove at night. Oh, yo, what's going on, everybody? It's I'm Get in Trouble podcast. Your boy Eddie Liles, Terrance G is in the building.
Skeet.
Lloyd Lee has finally returned home and is in the building. Like, don't understand this one. What the
Just say that was your grading. That was your grading for your singing.
Yeah.
tonight? Whoa.
I thought you were giving that to his audio quality because it sounds sure as shit like you're.
Oh yeah, that's it. Audio quality. What else are we going to do?
I'm not at
His
home.
lighting?
Like you're like on a fucking plane right now, like speaking in a tube. Like, welcome to the I'm Get in Trouble podcast, guys.
Are you being abducted right now? Like, he's been kidnapped. He's abducted, but yeah, he's like, you know what? I still got to do this podcast.
It was so bad. I was like, oh, Eddie's still in the Bronx for sure. But then he said Baltimore, and I was like,
that makes sense.
Same shit.
Seems on brand.
Same internet.
Same fucking internet. Nah, yeah. No, I'm down in Baltimore I'm about to pick up my little one. But yeah, so I couldn't get back. Bronx would have probably been better than this right now.
Actually, you know what though? I'm not gonna lie. Last week when you were just on your phone, that was the quality was pretty good.
Oh yeah, that was because I was I was in the car outside.
Yeah.
In the Bronx.
Yeah.
He actually had Wi-Fi, unlike inside his closet.
No, I literally. That's the bitch of the matter, bro. Like I was literally just in my car.
Outside his house.
Outside of the house.
Which I would have done.
That's Eddie's subtle way of telling us he's homeless now.
Inside,
Bronx got too expensive.
Outside of
$3,000 for this closet. I couldn't do it. I'm staying in the car.
Yo, I'm being honest with you. I'm like 2 seconds away from just getting a gym membership, like just to take a shower.
Man, that's how you know Eddie's came full circle. He's about to be a real comic. He's about to have no fucking money. He's about to have a $5 gym membership only so he can go in there and take a shower. Because you know good and hell well he ain't working out. Look at him. Like, it's just, that's not happening. I mean, Eddie's been talking for a couple months now about this fitness journey. All right. You look like you're still beginning, my guy.
First steps always the hardest one, right?
That's a good callback.
I love when I'm in a great mood and I come on this podcast. It just my mood goes so much higher into the goodness of
hey, look at the bright side. I mean, the darkness is very slimming. The darkness that you're in, very slimming.
The hoodie too, man. The hoodie too. Honestly, it takes your D's down to B's.
I love you both. I mean, I want to murder you sometimes, but like at this moment, but I love you.
They heard you.
Yeah. That's
that's what it was. I got a little afraid as a white guy, and they're like, wee.
The one of the two viewers is like, I think Eddie's about to do
a black man just threatened another white dude. Wee.
Yo, speaking of white people,
oh wow, and we're moving.
That's a shitty segue.
That's not a shitty segue. That's a
nice jump into topics. No, I get it. Especially,
yo, Cal, what is his name, Lloyd? You the one that's been following us, putting up fuck ass jokes online.
I haven't actually. It was unavoidable. Kyle Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse. Kyle
of course,
Rittenhouse.
The residential white guy would know what the fuck it is. Go ahead, man. Tell us, MAGA hat, Terrance.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
What's going on?
make America great again. I don't know. Like, I'm not following hardcore. Like, I know people that are chomping at the bit and they're following all the updates. Like, they're following Twitter. They're on the live updates, literally watching the court proceedings. I've just been
following
reading
all of the jurors on Twitter. All of the
Right.
Twitter.
I've been reading the bits and pieces, man. And long story short, it's like, so if you don't know, Kyle Rittenhouse left his city to go across state lines after Jacob Blake, I think it was, when Jacob Blake riots were going on. And essentially in the process of him leaving his town to go protect people and property, his words, armed with an AR-15 style rifle and like first aid kits and things like that, he went over to help. Now, as the story...
the look that his outfit was so random. It looked like he was going to the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That's tactical, baby. That's what we talk about, is tactical kind of shit.
That shit was so weird.
Long story short, he ends up getting into a tussle with some people in the riots and kills 3 individuals. And so he's under fire for that because it raises several questions like gun rights. It raises vigilantism here in America, the racism and the culture that would have this type of thing happen, how it got there, everything. And suffice to say, man, it's a weird fuck-ass situation. But one thing I do know, I can say for sure.
Is it a weird one?
It is a weird, it is a weird, and I can explain more later, but it's a weird fuck-ass situation. But one thing I know for sure, for a fact, I have seen more real tears on my toddler when I told him to go to his room for doing some dumb shit than what looked like what Kyle was crying in the court the other day. That's all I'm saying.
He was crying so those real tears.
That dude was gasping for air and looking around at people like
Terrance, you were in the military, bro. You don't have those tear ducts anymore, bro. Your tear ducts are dried up. Those were real tears, man. That is a tear of somebody on the yard about to fuck you in your ass. That's what that tear was.
That was a fear tear.
Tears for fears.
Tears for fears. I don't want to be butt raped. Please no.
I don't want to be butt raped.
All I could think of the first time I saw that video of him just trying to cry, not cry, forced cry. I don't know. I was like, is he hungry? Because that's what it looks like when my wife gets hungry. She can't complete a sentence.
What do you need? A Snickers? Did you just say this guy needs a Snickers?
It definitely could have been one of those hungry. Why wait?
Wife.
Are you hungry right now? I can't. All right, get in the car. Let's go get a fucking Subway sandwich, something.
Yeah. At this moment, I wish your wife was famous so that we could just cut her head and put it on his body and then put a Snickers next to it.
Great Photoshop.
That's the problem. She is famous enough. That's why we don't do it.
Yo, that's fucking hysterical.
Look at that subtle flex. Look at that subtle flex that we won't even talk about. But anyways, next part of the case.
Speaking of moving briskly forward.
Nah, but what do you? How do you say it has nuance to it, Terrance? I want to get some type of white perspective on this shit.
Look, man, this ain't no white perspective. You
don't have white perspective. You got kicked out of the white clan a long time ago. Like, have you not noticed your reputation?
But I didn't get kicked out of the other clan. All right, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
as I said, as much as possible. The white perspective as much as possible.
So here's where it gets nuanced, right? So I would think of it in proximity, right? Everybody, like, one of the sticking points is that he left his hometown, right? Or he left his home and crossed his city and state lines. But we are talking about border cities, right? So we're saying something that would be like Alexandria in DC or Arlington, DC. Like, it seems to be, I'm not familiar with that area, but that's what it seems to be, is that type of commute, that type of city-state change.
Think of like, oh, I'm leaving Virginia to storm the Capitol. You're like, but you're literally 20, 30 minutes away, which is
right. So like you're in the beltway system of all of that. So you have that. You have the fact that his father lived in the town in which he went to. And then I guess somehow along the way, somebody requested his presence to help assist with the protection of property and stuff, because a good friend of his father owns a business in Kenosha. I think because that's where the shooting.
Yeah, it was in Kenosha.
It was in Kenosha. So he owns like a a business of some sort, and things got destroyed multiple times throughout the riot. So, hey, Kyle, can you help? Now, I don't know why you're hitting up a 17-year-old. I'm pretty sure he was 17 at the time, now 18, or maybe he was 18 then, whatever. Either way, you have that. You have a city that said, hey, cops, stand down, allow the riots to happen and everything. And you have small business owners that are like, my insurance only covers X, Y, and Z, and these things aren't covered. So I do think that adds to the muddiness of the waters as far as like the whole weird ass fucking scenario. But the dude's going to get off for self-defense. Like, make no mistake about it. He will get off for self-defense based on what appears to be the record of the individuals that he had killed, like what their personal histories are. And this isn't just my opinion. This is just me speaking for what I think. But I think based on their history, what they'd given in the prosecution and defense, and based on the fact that it did look like he tried to peel away when people were trying to engage, it wasn't like he was trying to sit there and hold a gun in people's faces and just start blasting immediately. So there's that case. I think legally he'll probably get off.
Interesting. I mean, it is self-defense. I mean, and also I think they're bringing the previous records of the people that he had shot and killed, and then that just muddies the water. And it's like, yeah, he didn't know these guys were criminals prior or whatever the accusations were against them, but yet here we are, and they're trying to make it a thing. Also, people are enjoying talking about the judge because apparently the judge seems to be out of control depending on which side of the aisle you stand on.
No, like, the prosecutors seem out of control, bro. They had too many pastors. Did you see that shit?
Oh,
that's a different. Isn't that a different one altogether?
So no, because you have the prosecutors that are a show in themselves. That some people have said borderline like these dudes should get a mistrial and just be booted out.
Right.
But then you have the judge too. I think we talked about it here, but the judge was fascinating from the beginning to me because he was the one that said something. Stop using charged language. You can't say victim. You can say looter or rioter or arsonist. This was the thing. He couldn't say that you couldn't say victim of the individuals that were killed because that implied language. That was what the judge said. So instead, call them a looter or rioter or an arsonist. And I'm like, Judge, if you're going to say that some of this is loaded language and it comes with a connotation, then I don't think that looter, rioter, and arsonist are the kind of language that should be allowed as well.
But that's how you always. I agree. That's how you separate motherfuckers from compassion for a person. Right.
Yep.
Like when you call it
or
like,
lack.
But that's
or
why
lack
I said
thereof.
it was. But that's why I said it was intentional because it was. It seems very one-sided that you're going to strip away that label for one, which this judge apparently has a record for doing. I guess he's done this for years. It won't be victim. You can't say victim because that implies a certain level of loaded language. I would agree with that. But then to sit back and say, but to call this person, a looter, a rioter, and an arsonist that happened to be on the receiving end of somebody's bullet, I think that's a little bit of loaded language too, my guy.
On the other side.
You can't have it both ways, my dude.
So I think what a lot of people aren't getting from me, what I'm getting from this trial, I'll talk for myself. What I'm getting from this trial is the people in that community didn't see anything wrong with what he did. You feel what I'm saying? Because like one of the things that came out was
clarify for that for me for real quick.
I don't think the white people in that community think it was anything wrong with what he did.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
no, for sure.
Because at the end of like you saw they brought up, they were like, he got attacked first. If he never was attacked, he would have never done this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was all of this different shit. It was all these different languages. Well, we got to call them a looter. We got to call them a looter or what's the name? Because that way we can make sure that they're the enemy.
Yeah.
Type shit. Like, dog, like, so you guys are literally trying to get him off because y'all think that what he did was okay. Y'all don't, if you know what it feels like that some people in that community think that this trial is just for show. It's like, oh, the mob wants his pound of flesh. Let's give them their pound of flesh and then we're going to show them why they were wrong for what they did. And if this situation happens again, we want to give precedents to other communities to let these motherfuckers off too. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it feels to me. I mean,
yeah, and that's why I said I think there's nuanced perspective because I I don't fully understand that, but I get what you're coming from, right? I can never fully understand it, but I get what you're coming from. That's why I said the waters are a bit muddied when you add in the property protection, and it was like a family friend who was actually a business owner. Apparently, he had several witnesses saying that he did provide first aid to them, as well as other things. It's just one of those things that really does add. I actually had this conversation earlier with a friend, and he said he's still confused by the racial aspect. And I understand it, but I have a hard time articulating it.
I mean, because this one, and sorry to the black community, like my black friends that might think otherwise. I don't think this one. No, I'm being real ass, right? I think this one is one of them joints that you take out of race, right? And I think they're taking this shit out of race because the two of the people that he killed was white, weren't they?
All three, I thought, were.
Yeah, like it's not about but the reason why it is quote unquote is racial is because the riot, like the white people that got killed, were to us or to me, it looks like they were looked upon as, oh, they were just sticking up for the black people.
They took a side, right?
They took the black side,
right, and that's kind of how I explained it. Is they took a side.
But that's how it looks like to people like me. But what I'm saying is to people in that community, a lot of people, it doesn't feel like they think this shit is racial at all. It feels like they think like he was going against like Antifa type niggas.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's where I said, like, I struggle with making that explanation because, like, legitimately having this conversation earlier today, it's one of those things where it's like, you know it when you see it, but you can't fully describe it. It's hard to put your finger on it and define it explicitly.
Right.
But I can kind of imply it. But when he doesn't get the context in general, it's even harder to drive the point home, I guess, is what I'm saying.
But that's why they're making it confusing, because everybody wants it to be about what they feel like it's about. And at the end of the day, it should be about, yo, this dude was in the fucking street with a fucking gun. It doesn't matter, with a fucking protest happening. And he shot a couple people after they did not attack him, but confronted him because, like, and everybody, you already know what the fuck is going to happen. If I show up to your neck of the woods and I got a problem with you, I'm going to address that fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So now, is it on the person when you attack me? Is it on me for showing up there, or is it on you for attacking me? And most motherfucking linguists, like motherfucking people that like to use words but never like to use their hands, will always say, well, the person that attacked was in the wrong. But anybody from the street will always tell you, don't go where you not fucking invited to, motherfucker. Like, what the fuck
about
you come here for?
Work. Like, if I roll up at your workplace, like, I'm in the wrong. Like, if I know where you are and I roll up on there, that's on me.
Yeah.
Like, legally.
And that's, I would agree with that, right? But that's where I say I think it gets a little muddy, because it's not like,
because they were doing illegal stuff too.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. But it's not even just like that. It's not like Kyle just straight up left from wherever he was at and went to Kenosha and did this thing. He had some sort of a tie or a reason to be there. So I think that further complicates the scenario, making it not just some random dude off the street that was like, yo, fuck that, I'm going to go help. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm not saying that makes it right. I'm just saying that adds to the complexity. And when you, I don't know, man.
I don't know. I mean, I think I get what you said. I think I get what you're saying. I don't agree with it, but I think I get what
I'm just saying.
No,
I don't necessarily either, right? It's just one of those things that when we were having the conversation, he was basically saying the most that he's guilty of is terrible choices. And I'm like,
yeah, because he's 17 years old.
But this is where this shit gets even more confusing for people that's outside looking in. It was when he walked down the street past the cops with a fucking gun after killing people, bro. So that's
where the race comes in.
That fucking community already agreed, consciously or subconsciously, with what that motherfucker did, bro.
And that's the thing that's hard to pinpoint, because you can sit here and say subconscious bias, whatever, all you want. And people, I think it's now become kind of like the racist or sexist or whatever. It's now those buzz terms that everybody's like, yeah, okay. Like it's not, it doesn't come with the weight that it should, because we've watered it down through meaning and berating people over the head. Right. I'm not saying that it's necessarily the right aspect, because to me, when I was arguing my point as to why I think Kyle's in the wrong, is because, like, at the end of the day, yes, it was terrible decisions, but in my mind, and this is from just my time around, just being around guns, my time in the military, how I think about guns and all of that. Like, there's no scenario where I don't walk into it with a gun and not have deadly force on the fucking table. Somewhere in my mind, in some scenario, it's on the table now that I have a gun. If I'm taking a gun, like, that's where I'm at least somewhere thinking about it. And so when you have this kid doing it, again, I understand it. I understand the insurance processes. I understand the family friend process. I don't agree with it necessarily, but I get it. But that adds to that weird complexity. But you throw a gun into that, my dude. You anteed this up to a level that it probably didn't need to go. And that's where I'm like, you can't really criminalize that because it's a bad choice. But it was a really bad fucking choice.
Yeah. And for context, Kenosha, Wisconsin, right? So Wisconsin, it's smack dab in the middle between Milwaukee and Chicago. You're talking about an hour north of Chicago, an hour south of Milwaukee, and he crossed state line, so I guess he's 20 minutes outside of Chicago, and then he's still makes him about 20-30 minutes outside of Kenosha. It's muddled. And the thing that stuck out to me most was that the judge would not allow the zoom feature on the video.
Yeah.
They had the video, whatever the surveillance was, you were not allowed to zoom in because it's like you're editing and you're doctoring the footage. They required a specialist to come in to say, like, if you want to zoom in, you have to make sure there's a specialist expert to justify that. And you sit there,
but that's legal shit. And you just to make sure that I'm not looking like an idiot later on. You were right. Yeah, I'm thinking about the Aubrey case because that shit is crazy too. When I said the passes part,
it's a different case.
Back to that part of the zooming, you don't want any in law. You don't want any fucking leeway, bro. Because the only thing somebody gotta do is say
any room for misinterpretation.
Right.
They I get that.
Hold on. To it, and that's why I zoomed in.
That's not my point. My point is, like, if you need a expert in technology to prove, not like beyond a shadow of a doubt that has not been doctored. Or that is legit or whatever. It's like, what else do you need an expert for? You're okay with saying that the footage itself in its entirety has not been doctored? You don't need an expert for that, but to zoom in, you need an expert to prove it. Like, it's
I think you need an expert for both of them, don't you?
No. So I mean,
because the video file came from directly from the source.
I mean, whatever it is, it's like I find it very strange where something that we hold as normal, as like, oh, you zoom in, like, literally you can zoom in and you can watch it, and they go, nope, got to prove that that's not doctored. You go, well, prove that this footage is
what
fucking
dude
real.
Doesn't zoom in to see if there's like titties in the picture? Like, that's what
I want to see the titty silhouette real quick.
I want to see the titty silhouette.
Zooming in is a part of our life. Like, and I'm never gonna sit there and be like, oh, because I zoomed in, this isn't a picture of the same titties.
It's a different picture.
Yeah, it's just weird. Yeah.
I get
it, I guess, but no, that's just
at the end of the day. I get certain shit. Like, I guess in my head, it doesn't help to either side. So that's why I guess I didn't even pick up on that part. Like, just being honest, like, to me in my head, it's
a very slippery slope. My problem is, like, if that you have to prove that, then in theory, you're opening the door to proving everything.
You're basically right. You're doing kind of the shit that people do when they argue a lot of the social justice shit. Like, they start speaking philosophically and then start challenging what's already been established as truth or what's knowable. You're running down that deal with law when you start doing that. Well, technically, it's the footage that we said it is, but if you zoom in, is that altering the foot? Like, no, motherfucker. Like, you're now challenging the knowable, and that's a foul on you. Don't pull that shit. That's a big problem.
If it's been doctored, it's been doctored from the beginning. Facts. Zooming in is not doctoring it.
Right.
I don't know. I thought it was.
You think like you? So you saying basically him doing that part? That's going to just add to.
It feels fishy, man.
It feels super fishy.
Oh no, dude! Listen, if you think that I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck who that judge is. And I know we're supposed to have all this respect for judges and shit, but that like. Nick, I don't. If you think that it was about to be a fair trial in that city, bro, you fucking smoking crack, bro.
No, that's
like, come on, fam.
No.
Let the police roll past the kid, bruh.
I mean,
As he was walking down the street after killing
To be
niggas.
fair,
did they know? Did they? I'm asking. I'm genuinely don't know. Did they know that act had taken
And
place?
this is where the racist part. When you talking to
I'm
other white
asking,
people,
I
no,
don't
I'm being
know.
honest. I'm about to tell you.
I
this
know
all the way
what you're
through.
about to say. I'm just
They
wondering.
but that's what it is, bro. If somebody
know.
gets shot and you have a person walk and you say a black male shot him, and you see a black male walking down the street with a gun with a legal gun or illegal gun, you stopping his ass, bro.
Yep.
So
Or
what the fuck
at
are you talking about?
at
So it's
Walmart
not even
with
no question on that shit.
at
No,
Walmart with a toy gun.
So,
with
no.
motherfuckers get shot with toy
but
guns.
Eddie, there is a question on that. The question is
How?
because
Sorry.
to answer no, because I wanted to know. I'm not saying it to defend like a perspective.
I know you. I'm not talking to you like you are. I'm saying I don't pause. Let's make sure that we all get on a equal playing field.
You're
Me
saying,
and you are good. So
no,
never. All right. Right.
Duh.
My thought process is when these conversations come up.
Guy.
When these conversations come up, this is where a lot of people. This is what we get frustrated on because it's like.
But
okay,
that's why I wanted to ask you that question, right?
Right.
Because as soon as that happens, for the most part, black folks are going to be like, "Oh hell no,
we're
all
game
suspects. Over. It's over. It's over. Let me hide off in a corner." Sure, this is where that privilege or whatever comes in, but it's a discussion worth having.
But but this is what I'm saying. This is why when people say like I said earlier, I don't think this particular court case is I don't think Kyle particularly went out to kill black people. I think he in his head went out and that community thinks that he went out to protect the community against Antifa like people,
right?
Which are mostly white, right? But for black people, when we look at it, the reason why we add race to it is because we're like, yo, no black. If the black person was on that same side as
you
Kyle,
would never
that
get away.
Been dead.
None of that would have ever transpired. Nobody would have been sent. Like I said, I get it. It's just one of those weird things. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like
the moment Eddie left his house, they'd be like, "Yep."
Yeah, it would have been tactical. If it was a black dude, it would have been a clear-cut case. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, that's why like it's annoying to even see it on TV. Like we like, yo, like the reason why you get laughed at for your cries and your tears, nigga, because we don't give a fuck, bruh. Yeah. Like
no.
Too many people we know that got killed or locked up for just having a gun in their possession, protect themselves from other shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people that all the time. The first gun I ever bought was not because I was going out to murder somebody. It was because nobody fucking's fighting me that much. I don't get that many people that want to throw, like get in an argument with me that want to throw hands. A lot of people want to shoot me, especially when I was doing security. So it's like, and I always had to remember, if I walk out of this house with this gun, you know what I'm saying? If anything happened, I'm most likely getting shot by the cops. Whereas you got this, you know what I'm saying, this kid and fucking, you know what I'm saying, winning kosher, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying, Wisconsin, you know what I'm saying, just walking around with a fucking AR-15.
Just out.
Fucking. And the cops drive past them. And then people like, well, how is this racist?
I can't say, I mean, there's plenty of places that I've been around or know that where you could do that now and people wouldn't say shit. So I mean, it's just different places, it's different cultures.
Or me, or Eddie.
Well, you know what I'm saying, guys. You can't look like either one of you. You better look like me, and you can do it.
No. Lloyd can get away with it. Lloyd can get away with
it. Yeah, Lloyd could definitely get
away with it.
Virginia with his hair low. You know, and some sunglasses.
If he had the mullet, it was even better.
Yeah, the mullet would have been perfect.
Fuck, Lloyd, don't get that. You can walk around with it. Now you can't walk around with it in fucking Potomac, Maryland.
Yeah,
you can't walk around with because But if you was in the same place as him, they would have been like, "Oh, this motherfucker for real."
No. They'd look at him. They look at Kyle, they look at me, and look at Kyle back and go, "He's with you, right? He's cool, right?"
Yeah, bro. Come on, son. But no. Like jump on that Maud Arbery case, though.
I was gonna say the last thing. Let me hit one last thing with Kyle, man. The one last thing I'll say about Kyle. Where is that same fucking energy, Kyle? The same energy that saw you in photos posing with people, talking about these shootings and everything. A month after the fact, doing this stuff. Where was that same energy when you jumped to testify there in the court?
That's human nature, bro.
Hold on.
I'll give you a pass.
Also,
that's
I
human
don't,
nature.
man. That rubs
Give a
me in.
fuck
So
about
like I understand he's young. I understand he's undeveloped, immature, and all of that. But that rubs me
it should.
weird way.
But
Yeah,
also, he's 17 years old.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Like, he's a kid and he's getting swept up by adults that are praising him as a hero,
as a fucking god.
We see this in movies all the time, where there's a little bit of a lie, and then the main character steers into it, and then they find out it's a lie. We see this in movies. I get it. He's 17. I bet you he doesn't have a lot of friends growing up, just in general, right? And then all of a sudden he gets.
I mean, he wasn't around this area. Look at him. Just saying. Sorry. That nigga. What, dude? That dude that got his ass whooped in DC, PG County, or fucking Alexandria. That dude would have got punished. Are you kidding me?
He's getting punished now online.
Yeah.
I know white dudes that would probably turn him upside down, put his head in the toilet. So
he goes to Frederick, and then he gets evicted from Frederick. Like, nah, you can't be here, bro.
Come on, bro.
From Frederick, Maryland.
Nah, that's probably where he could have hooked out Frederick. But no. I think fuck this dude. I don't really give a fuck about his tears. I don't like I said, you guys think a lot of people think those are fake tears. I think they were real tears. I think that after he got all those pictures, somebody sat his ass down, and then they was like, oh no, dude, you got a real chance of going to jail.
I think what was more real
was like, hold up, what?
I think what was more real was his vomiting and crying after the fact. That would make more sense to me. That to me, I'm sorry. He looked around too much.
Somebody's gonna brutally rape that boy in jail, fam. Like
or he's protected.
I'm being so real.
He's definitely getting off. He's getting off. I mean,
oh yeah, I know that. But I'm saying, if they give him I don't think. I would hope. I'm just being he's one of the few cases where I hope they put him in jail for a year, just a year, and I bet he comes back Black Power or Nazi. He's either gonna come out Black Power or Nazi. Is he?
It'll be Aryan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. I've watched the series Oz at least once. I've watched a couple.
I guess
48 hours. I'm gonna go with he's gonna get protected, right? Or he's not gonna get put in Gen Pop.
That brings up the question, guys. This is a very serious question. Can you indeed have the racism fucked out of you?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Just fuck the hate away.
Yes. Fuck an Asian girl one time, and you'll be like, I'm not making no more Asian jokes.
Oh my god.
It's kind of true though. I've noticed I've been writing this down. I've been keeping track. And okay, Eddie, and then there seems to be a plummet in the stats right around. I won't say the date, but we know the date. We know the date.
Stop fucking an Asian girl. I bet you all your Asian jokes go away real fast.
Just
fucking the hate. You know what, man? More power to the people.
Inherit a white girl's father's company.
Yes.
Just once. Just inherit a company once. You're like, oh, you know, I like white people.
Make fuck, not war.
Dude, have you not noticed these white girls? Listen, hold on. I'm being so serious. Have you not noticed these white girls on TikTok being Black Power? And every white girl that's on TikTok that is for white people, it looks like she only dates white dudes. Come on. And then all the black chicks that do the white people shit.
That's how I know it's for clout. That's how I know it's for clout, man.
It's not. I'm telling you. It's
because they're going to get all the likes. No, because they're going to get all the likes,
racism.
all the views, all the likes, all the shares. No, all of that's going to happen on TikTok. And they're going to be like, oh, I'm so pro-black. And then when it comes down to Jerome being like, hey, girl, can I get a date? She's going to be like, I'm with Steve still.
Yeah, Steven with a PH, bro.
I'm with Stevie.
Nah, listen, bro. When I say this, I'm being so honest. And if she sees it, I apologize. I know I swear to you, I know a white girl who only dated white dudes. We all know that girl. Right. But then got with a black dude, and out of nowhere had Black Lives Matter on her car.
I've seen that video too. That's every other video on the site.
Dude, dick and pussy can give you racism or take it away, bro. I'm being so honest.
I'm actually surprised that she didn't take the sticker down after the fact.
Yo, you just gotta make sure
he hurt me.
You gotta make sure you give. It's like this is what happens if you black and you give good dick, then you'll fuck the racism out of it. If you black and you got bad dick, you putting it in her. Like
I knew you weren't good for nothing.
Yeah.
I knew you lazy motherfuckers.
Yeah. It turns out the whole bigger dick thing was an entire lie. Like nobody gives a shit. We're done with it.
Yeah.
What? Hold up. What?
Black power bombing.
Propaganda.
Black power driving.
The fuck out. The big dick thing was a lie. Shut up. That's
just saying, man.
never will it be disproven.
Yeah, because not enough white women are gonna fuck black dudes.
Wow.
Shit, you be surprised, bro. You be
They're
fucking
racist as shit. That's what I get laughing. No, that's what I get laughing about is I laugh my ass off with all these white women jumping on the fucking internet to be like, these white men and da-da-da. It's like, bitch, you're the one producing them.
Yo, you haven't noticed the black chicks doing it now? It's a couple of them out there. Oh, bro, it's a couple. There's a couple black chicks out
Candace, what's her name?
Not just Candace Owens, because her husband's black. Don't get it fucked up. Candace Owens, like, I'll give her this credit. Candace Owens believes in what she's saying. She's like, everybody keeps forgetting that Candace claimed the fame. Her first time becoming famous is because she sued the sheriff's son for being racist.
Oh yeah, I do remember.
Research on her.
Yeah.
You gotta do your research on her.
I remember that.
The problem with her is that I believe that she's so black power that she flipped. We don't know how.
She just got to the end. She got to the edge,
but like,
and then ended up on the other side of the map.
See, that's where, like, I think that's where the white perspective comes in. Like, I feel like she's so black power that it like became this weird ass full circle to show you how much we're all in the same fucking bucket, man. Like,
okay,
like it's so weird that like because she espouses, like, no, don't get me wrong, she does kind of go out there kind of crazy with some of the far right shit, but some of the other stuff is like, oh, she ain't black because she said X. It's like, this whole thing is so weird to me, man.
No, you got, like, she says stuff that if she didn't say it the way that she said it makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, does that even make sense?
Yeah.
Like, the way that she says it, it comes across like, oh, you really for black people, I mean for white people. But in her heart, it comes across like I think that she's for black people. But it's just how she says it comes off as racist, like not racist. It comes off as racist rhetoric. That's
I think the problem is she's so polarizing now that it's like anything she says, I'm already gonna feel XYZ about
that
it.
too.
Yeah,
that too.
That's most people nowadays, man. Like, you can't, like, it doesn't matter what the opinion, like, going back, man, watching Chappelle's special, I watched it with a couple of people that were like, oh, I could definitely see how we would probably come across transphobic. And when they sat down and watched the entire thing, they're like, okay, I've got more context now. But people already have their preconceived notions and want to shove that out just based on how they feel about the dude. And that's how it was with this last special. It's how it is with everything, man.
But I don't even think it's just off of how they feel about him. It's more or less like how it was transcribed or prescribed to
Sure,
him, right?
I'm just saying, like, their preconceived notions from was it the equanimity or stick to stones, whichever one it was that he was in hot water for previously. Everybody that already had their preconceived notions is like, yeah, definitely fuck him, and I'm waiting for him to drop more transphobic stuff so I can hate him some more. And it's like,
they were waiting the first 30 minutes, just being like, say something, say something.
Right. And I think that's what people do with everything. They're just waiting to be upset.
Yeah, I think Candace is the same way. Yeah, I will say that, like, because we saw it a lot easier when we saw the situation at Revolt. You remember the Revolt Summit? I don't know if you guys ever looked at it. She's on the stage with T.I.
Killer Mike was there.
Killer Mike and some other guys, some other people.
This.
Yep.
And she was saying, like, they were like, you keep saying that black people were great in America at one point. What time was that? And T.I. like shits on her like hardcore. And then Killer Mike jumps in and is like, all right, bro, chill out. Because the time that black people had it better was right after slavery ended, when America tried to give black people back land and give them communities. And it was like a 10-year span where we were technically the richest that we were ever been as a community. And then Jim Crow came into play. And black people also, a lot of older black people in the South especially, thought that segregation was better for black people than desegregation, because the segregation, at least, yeah, this is a common thought, especially in the South, because black people back then owned their own communities. So like you could only shop in your community. You could only eat in your community. You could only buy in your community. So it
Which
actually,
on paper sounds great, but we learned through segregation in school it was the exact opposite.
But that was so the issue was the school part, but not the community part. So that's why, again, you gotta listen to people when they saying the whole thing, right? Like, they're not saying that segregation in its entirety was great. They were saying that segregation was more beneficial for black people at the time, financially and community wise, but educational wise, it was way worse because we were further behind, so we couldn't leave the community. But people that were able to pull themselves up and build companies or businesses in the community were thriving better. So so you got to watch the whole journey. Kill 'em. I'm butchering it. Killer Mike explains it so much better.
Well, he
and
went
then
in.
they burned down Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
They also burned down Black Wall Street, and nobody ever went to jail for it. Go ahead.
He went in and talked about, like, basically like how there was a lot of merits to truth in what she was saying,
right?
And how, basically just going over the history. But that's almost, in a weird way, that almost feels like, rhetorically speaking, it almost feels like that's the way that the world wants to go now, is to resegregate and relabel and put everybody in their own communities, whatever the fuck that is, in these weird progressive circles on some levels. Not everywhere, but
oddly enough,
majority.
It kind of works. Like,
that's
for
my
example,
point.
Hold on.
It does work, but
hold on. Look,
go.
Go to LA. Go to LA, and then you'll see the enclaves where you go. You know, there's all the diversity in LA. You got to go to different parts of the city to find what you're looking for. All the Asians are in San Gabriel Valley,
but that's every city. That's every city. I mean,
majority cities, yeah.
That's the thing, is we talk like segregation isn't a thing, and it's not, but almost only on paper, right? Like,
but that's the
because
problem,
it blends in. But no, that's what I said. That blends into comedy too. The thing we constantly talk about, mainstream versus urban, and all of that stuff, like that bleeds into this. It's not segregated, but it's segregated.
But the issue isn't the segregation. The word segregation is not the issue, right?
Right.
I'm sorry. The definition of segregation is an issue. The issue is more or less when it's a law.
Yeah.
Or when it's a perceived law.
requirement.
So it's required. So it's like it's cool when black, like this, and this is where, like, when people, like, when I talk to people and they talk about white privilege, or when I get into those arguments, because I love them, right, about white privilege, right? This is where the argument of white privilege comes from. Black people do want to be around black people. Asian people do want to be around their particular Asian set. Africans want to be around their particular set, and white people want to be around their particular set. White people, unfortunately, unless you have an accent, you don't have a set. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's like,
unless you're directly from there, you are just, from
right.
here.
You motherfuckers, y'all can blend in almost anywhere. Y'all have the what is it? Autonomy to be, or freedom to be wherever the fuck you want to be. Black people.
I think the word you were looking for, what I possess, is omnipotence.
Oh, nope. Nope. Can't get us to say that shit.
The fuck did you just say, nigga?
You have Jesus. That's as opposite as you're gonna get.
No. But hold on. Let me finish my point.
I just want to say that this was an excellent burn that you guys were too stupid to understand. Please continue.
Hold my dick, impotence ass nigga. So,
you said he's opportunistic.
The point I'm making is, all right, boom. White people can go to any set that they want to be. And this is where cultural appropriation comes in, and everybody gets upset, because white people can even come over to other cultures and be accepted into that culture. Whereas black people, if there is a black set, right, are looked down upon for wanting to venture out of it. Asian people, the same thing. You get what I'm saying? And so that's one of the things of white privilege, whereas if you guys leave, nobody's looking down. The perceived notion is that nobody's really looking down on you guys. You guys are looked at as the cool kid, the hip kid, because some people in another culture find you cool, and that's not even your culture. So you're even cooler in your own culture. Whereas a black guy leaves his culture or wants a little bit more of a certain type of culture, he's looked at as a traitor, right? So that's the one part. Then the second part is when the law or the police can systems can literally stop me from being able to cross cultures if I want to, or being able to be a part of another culture if I want to. So the issue has never been the separation of the communities. The issue has always been the systematic version of segregation.
Yeah,
the
systematic
enforcement of making sure that you stay in your own lane.
I mean, blockbusting and color lines, city color lines.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of
shit is bullshit.
A lot of cities have from bylaws from the 30s, 40s, and 50s where it's like black people can't own or non-white people can own in this area. It's not that they wanted to. Maybe you have 1, 2, 3 people move in there, but for the most part, we're going to live amongst ourselves. I just don't like the fact that there's a law saying that I can't.
Yeah. Exactly, like that, and that shit is bullshit. So it's like I think when people when you say no segregation, the segregation or the separation of the cultures is okay. Then people are like, well, if it's okay, then you guys shouldn't have pushed against this and this. And like, no. That's by choice, not by force.
Separate,
when it's by choice,
equal.
I'm cool with it. When it's by force, fuck you. Same thing, vaccines right now. Why do you think motherfuckers are losing their fucking jobs? Like, this shit is bullshit to make all of us are vaccinated, I think. I'm vaccinated. I'll talk for myself. I'm vaccinated.
None of your business.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm vaccinated.
Private medical information.
HIPAA.
But in all jokes aside, right? Like you said, as soon as you say it in that tone, people are like, oh, this fucking anti-vaxxer. But if I'm just like, no, that's private information, bro. Like, if as a vaccinated person, technically that is a fucking medical record, dickhead.
You can't even say that though, because look at your boy Aaron Rodgers. I am immunized.
And again, with him too. With him, he already had COVID. I still didn't fuck with that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Just say yes or no, because I didn't. But this the kick. Did you not fuck with Aaron Rodgers saying he was immunized and it being let go, or did you not fuck with the fact that Kyrie Irving got ran through the fucking mud for saying that he wasn't getting vaccinated versus a white guy who alluded to being vaccinated but never said it and got away with it? So, and I think that's what a race in the what's the name start, the systematic shit starts to come into play, right? I'm not mad at Aaron Rodgers for not getting the vaccine. I'm mad at the system because they let Aaron Rodgers go on not getting vaccinated, whereas they shitted on Kyrie Irving where this nigga can't work.
And that's what then ultimately shifts the rage back towards this arbitrary group of fill in the blank people, because you can say the system, we know what the system is, but the system ain't changing. It's slow moving, it's bureaucratic, it's bloated, it's political, it's whatever, it's corrupt. It's all fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know where we go from here, bro. With this vaccination shit, I'm being so dead ass. I don't know where we go from it, because
where can you go from here?
They need to just cut the shit. I have 3 friends. I have a friend who's allergic to fucking shit in the vaccine, but because he works for the government, he's allergic to shit in the fucking vaccine, right? So he cannot take the fucking vaccine, and they put him on medical leave from the government, even though he has a medical reason not to take the vaccine. I have another friend. She just don't want to take the shit. That's on her. But she should have the choice not to want to take the shit. Can't work it on November 23rd. All of them lose their jobs. Yep. Like, dude, this shit is.
Now your first friend, I feel less bad for, because medical leave, the motherfucker can sit there and bitch about it all he wants, but hey, at least you're still getting paid medical leave.
No pay.
Oh, they changed that then? Okay, well then
medical leave is no pay. They just, you know what else they just changed? So vaccination, I understood this one, but it's still fucked up. So the vaccination pay has been dropped to 5 days instead of 10.
Yep.
Because people that are vaccinated only really need 5 days to recover, but people that are unvaccinated still need the full 10. But they took away the 10. So anybody that didn't want to get vaccinated can never, if they catch COVID, they can never get the 10. They go basically lose a week of work.
This is that little thing that, like, constantly pops up when people get to talking about government and social justice and all the shit that we ever talk about, all this topical stuff, and you involve the fucking government. This highlights the issue that I will always bring up when it comes to government specifically. It's like you look at that control, you look at the shit they do, you look how they fuck things up, and people want to give them more power to do certain things. It blows my mind, man. When you see that they're like, oh, we're not going to force you to do that, but we're going to do all the things that basically
force you to do
it without telling you that we're forcing you.
Okay, what is this whole thing with people? Look, y'all got to explain this to me. We way off topics right now. But
oh yeah,
can y'all explain this shit to me? Where the fuck did this whole like government get more power? These niggas are fucking, to use your word, omnipotent or whatever the fuck you say.
Opportunistic.
No.
So it's that. It's almost like that thing. Like, oh well, they're already this. So what do we care? Or what do we do? It's like I understand that aspect. I understand that perspective, but I'm also of the mind that like if you understand that the government is corrupt and has this control and authority, you should still do whatever you can to, rectify that. But I think, I don't know, is that a white perspective? Is it a white perspective that the government's gaining more control? But
no, I don't know if it's a white perspective per se, or less. It's more or less like
you guys are just realizing it.
Yeah, them niggas already. I thought these niggas was like basically kings without king. Like they were just.
Well, no,
if they all formed together, they would be a king. Like they call it democracy, but it's a monarchy.
I guess that's where I still feel like Flick in A Bug's Life. I feel like I'm one of the very few meaningless, pointless ants trying to tell everybody that these grasshoppers are assholes. But hey, man, we can fucking do something about it because we outnumber them. But everybody else is like, but the grasshoppers are big. Whatever.
That sounds like January 26th. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, I feel that most of us just want to put our heads down and let's just do our work, whatever it is, live life, love, pursuit of happiness. Let me just take care of my family. Very like the colonies, right? You just go, okay, let me just pay my taxes and just kind of leave me alone. And then every now and again, we look up and go, oh, that's weird. That's a new law, right? And then just head back down. Next thing you know, we have zero control over shit.
That's one thing though. We already it's a new law. Like I understand laws a little bit. I don't understand like a fucking lawyer, dickhead. But before you even started, lawyer. But nah, because you always every time I say I understand something, you're like, but do you?
Do I?
Do you understand?
But do I? But do I do that?
I'm saying like, the new law shit. I get the new law shit. I always knew they could do new laws. But I thought only thing laws are is just to counteract another a hole in another law. Like that's how I always look at laws.
Not really, man. Like sometimes they're there to like. I mean, in theory, right? That's what a law should be. Is they're in place to regulate holes where it needs to be, right?
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like
the problem is
all the laws are already there. That's why it's fucking.
Yeah, but the problem is there's a shitload of very frivolous ones. And then there's a shitload of like really weird.
But they weren't frivolous when they were made. That's what I'm saying. Like the law that you can't drive without shoes.
Bro. Not being able to spit on the sidewalk in public.
It's not a frivolous law. That should be that's a good ass fucking law.
That's a frivolous ass law.
No, that's a good law, bro. If you really think about it.
If you've been to Singapore, you know it's a phenomenal law.
If you've been certain places, if you go to New York a couple times, live in New York for a month, motherfucker. Live in New York for a month.
So again, you can't have it both ways. You can't be about like free speech and liberty and pursuit, but then be like, don't spit on the fucking sidewalk. We'll make it illegal. Like that's that weird, catch-22 of like shit I just don't understand.
The issue is with the frivolous laws. I swear to God, they're the laws that get like snuck in to shit. It's like, hey, protect the babies, vote no on one. And you go, okay, I'm gonna vote no on one, but like you're protecting babies, but also you're like, oh, you can't do this, and this. It has nothing to do with
that's lawyer shit, bro.
But see, I think that's more of like.
But if you don't vote no on one, you don't want to protect the baby.
Yeah, I saw that on I was looking at something about Biden's tax law when they were doing all the tax law stuff, and Biden was like, yeah, like they were basically, it was a documentary on it, but it was like trying to explain like how like Biden was just looking for the black community, the Black Pastors Community Association and Coalition, whatever the fuck you want to call them. was like, yo, we got to figure out a way to stop our community from killing, like protect the innocent from these motherfuckers that y'all basically gave so many drugs to that now our community's shit face. And so like they were like, all right, well, let's do this law where basically if you're gonna keep fucking up the neighborhood, we're gonna put you away. We're gonna take you away from the neighborhood. And then some fucking Republican dude like was like, yeah, like, but in our Pacific area, we noticed that it was everybody that keeps coming in and out of jail 3 times or some dumb shit. And then they were like, well, let's put the crack addicts are also the ones. The crack addicts are also the ones that are destroying the neighborhood. So let's also throw away the crack addicts too. And then they just kept adding all this shit to like pass the whole just to clean up the neighborhood shit. And then it was like basically if some of these guys didn't sign off on it, then it wouldn't have got passed at all. So they signed off on it, and then they fucked us for years to come. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly my point.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like
but that's how it always is.
Though. But that's all. But
that doesn't make it right.
But that's what I'm saying. Right.
We agree on that.
So we'll go back. Right. One thing that they always tell you in the military, well, it's just the way it's always been. Just the way it's always been. That fucking answer has always burned me up. It burns me up now. It'll burn me up in the fucking future. It'll burn me up forever. Just because something's fucked and you acknowledge it's fucked, don't mean you will let it just be fucked if you can fix it. Like
if you can unfuck it, let's unfuck it.
If you can unfuck it, which I think there's a shot that we can unfuck it, but people are just stupid. So we can't unfuck it. But either way,
well,
I feel like
it's just back to it reeks like when you see these laws that have other laws that have nothing to do with the original law. I feel that's like the backroom deal. You know, we're just like,
it's disgusting.
And like, well, that's the way business work. Well, it shouldn't.
But it should not. It shouldn't even be there. But you can also take advantage of it. So, like, what I mean by that, like, certain things shouldn't be there, but certain things should be able. Once you see them there, you should learn how to take advantage of them, right? And what do I mean by that?
No, that's that you're right. Like in the you should have the hard skills to take advantage of the laws in which that they are written. Like, yes, you're absolutely right, but we should not be passing laws that have multi-pronged effects that have no relation with one another.
But you don't even realize it. Like, I'm not trying to take off anybody. I guess this is how my head processes it, right? Sometimes you don't know what's going to happen until it happens, right? So like, and I use the example. We do these shows, and I say, and I'll come to you, and I'll be like, let's use Run the Light, right? Yo, I want to do this show. I want to do Run the Light. It's going to be the audience is going to kick comics off the stage, right? And everybody was like, yo, that's not going to work, bro. Like, why? Like, man, comics are sensitive. This is a bad idea. Oh, you just trying to go out the money. It was all these different things. We do the show, and none of those things fucking came in the fruition. But we also do another show where everything goes wrong. I'm just trying to put it in perspective of comics, bro. Before you fucking be like, that doesn't correlate.
I know. I see what you're saying. So I'm trying to understand what you're saying. You're saying they can't know the bad side effects sometimes until after things have been implemented.
Exactly.
Right.
But I am going to trump altogether being like, no, there should not be 3 things on this bill that have nothing to do with each other. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if you
okay.
Like you shouldn't have like the weed laws, right? For example, just I don't know what it's like we should not be voting on legalization of weed. And then somewhere in there, it's like, oh,
your
guns.
fucking stimulus package. Like,
yeah, like
that stuff. That's insidious to me. But like, it's all that weird shit.
Dishonest.
It's very funny.
Hey, yo,
because
I'm gonna let y'all continue, man. I gotta go pick up the little one, yo. Like, I'm getting text messages.
Well, we can wrap here.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, we had a good fucking episode. First time to catching up here after a while.
No, that's why I was trying to let y'all two fucking keep going. But you know what I mean?
No, we got time, man. I'm just happy to be back.
Yeah,
it's good to see you guys' faces, man. Be back with the crew, getting in trouble, saying things that probably aren't going to get me in trouble.
Always, you are the fucking most conservative.
I'm very good. I'm very good at what I do.
Very conservative. Very conservative.
Very conservative.
Isn't that weird? I'm a conservative liberal. Can you be that
You're
nowadays?
liberally conservative.
I'm liberally conservative.
I think I'm liberally conservative.
I'm fiscally sexual.
You fuck money?
Yeah, baby.
Give me the music.
fucks
Just give me the
me.
fucking. It got weird.
That's-
Nope, wrong thing. Come on, give me the money. Give me the
I
music.
can't, yo, I'm so
with it. That's why I'm mad with it. With it. With it. That's why I'm mad with it. Straight out the trap with
Terrance
it.
fucks
Whatever you
money.
want, whatever you need, it's on tab. Get it. That's why I'm
money
mad with
fucks
it.
me.
That's
That's why I'm
gross.